Hi, I'm Escuril, and today I'm going to discuss about loans and repayments. I'm going to teach you how to solve for one-time payments and several regular payments. These are the formulas for one-time payments and several regulatory payments. As you can see, there are two formulas for one-time payments because the other one is used for compound interest. Now I'll show you an example problem first in getting the maturity value for simple interest. We're just going to plug in all the values, so it will be 10,000 times 1 plus 0.03 divided times 4 equals to 11,200 pesos. Now let's move on in getting the compound interest. Nikki borrows 800,000 pesos and promises to pay the principal and interest at 20%, compounded quarterly. How much must she repay after 8 years? So we will plug all the values. P is 800,000 pesos, R is the rate which is 20% or 0.2, M is 4 because it is compounded quarterly, and the N is T times M which is 8 times 4 is equals to 32. So it would be F is equals to 800,000 times 1 plus 0.20 divided by 4 raised to 32. So the future value for this compound interest is 3,811,953.18 pesos. Now let's move on to amortization. In this video, I will be teaching you how to make an amortization schedule. Here is an example problem. So as you can see, we're going to get first the periodic or regular payment. Here's how to solve it. We're going to use this formula to get it. So P is 85,000, R is 0.15, M is 2 because it is compounded semi-annually, and N which is equals to T times M which is negative 4. The periodic payment will be 25,378.24 pesos. Now we will input it in the table. It should look like this. As you can see, the table is already filled up with digits. It has 4 periods because the N is equals to negative 2 times 2 which equals to negative 4. That's why we have 4 rows which represent the 4 periods to pay the outstanding principal. Now I'm going to show you how we got them. First is to put the periodic payment to all of the columns. The 85,000 in the outstanding principal is already given, so to get the 6,375 interest payment, we should multiply 85,000 to 0.15 over 2 times 1, which is the letter I, or also known as the R over M. Now that we have solved for the first interest payment, we can now solve for the principal payment. In order to get this, we will just less the periodic payment from the interest payment, so it would be 25,378.24 minus 6,375 which equals to 19,003.24. Now that we got the first principal payment, we must deduct it from the outstanding principal of 85,000 pesos to get the second outstanding balance. So it would be 85,000 pesos less 19,003.24 equals to 65,996.76. 65,996.76 will serve as the new outstanding principal to get the second interest payment. We must multiply the 65,996.76 to 0.15 over 2 times 1 which equals to 4,949.76. Since we already got the second interest payment, we can now solve for the second principal payment. To solve for this, we will just deduct 25,378.24 pesos, which is our periodic payment, to 4,949.76 pesos. And this will result to 20,428.48. Now we will less 65,996.76 to 20,428.48 to get the third outstanding principal. It would be 65,996.76 minus 20,428.48 is equals to 45,568.28, and this will serve as the third outstanding principal, which we will multiply to 0.15 over 2 times 1 to get the third interest payment of 3,417.62. Now we will less this from 25,378.24 to get the third principal payment amounting to 21,960.62. Then we will deduct from the previous outstanding principal, which is 45,568.28. So it would be 45,568.28 minus 21,960.62 equals to 23,607.67. This will be the third outstanding principal. Lastly, we will multiply this again to 0.15 over 2 times 1, which will result to the last interest payment amounting to 1,770.57. Then, we will deduct again the 25,378.24 and the 1,770.57 to get the fourth principal payment amounting to 23,600.67. Finally, we will deduct the previous outstanding balance 23,607.67 to the last principal payment, which also equals to 23,607.67 to get zero outstanding principal at the end. And that's all. Thank you for listening.